yesterday I started seeing shades of the old Arsenal. It looked more like Wenger ball than the Pulis ball we've been playing. And we got what we needed. We got 2 goals. We got a clean sheet. But most importantly, we got the 3 points. And we got out of there with a win. Let's talk. Hola theaters, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another Rican reaction. And last night was a good night. I went out to the pub. I watched the Arsenal, had some good wings. We got the win, kept the clean sheet, and we got 3 points. You know, we're near the top of the Champions League table. All in all, it was great. We saw some good performances. You know, we kept them out, and we got to see some guys who last year were on the, I wouldn't say on the periphery, but last year we had hoped they did better, actually perform. Just to go through the team stats, let's start with the team stats. We had 16 shots to their 10. We had 5 shots on target to their 3. And as expected, we held more possession. We had 61%. They had 39. And that's what I expected. It's what I expected. No offense to Olympiacos, but Arsenal are competing for the title in the strongest league. And I expected us to go there, you know, not go there because it's the home game, but you know, go to the Emirates and dominate. That's what I expected us to do. I think that with the shots that we had, we were a little bit wasteful. I think that, you know, we could have had a couple of more goals, but I want to take the positives. I think that I saw something positive. I think that I saw us getting there. It's still early, and I have been, you know, one of these guys who have said we've played ugly football, you know, watching Anfield, watching Man United, but we actually looked better for, you know, 30 minutes. I would say 30 minutes we looked like that Arsenal from 22-23, and I was gassed with it. I was very happy with how we performed, and then we kind of settled into it, and I thought, man, this could go either way for a little bit, and then we scored that final goal, and yeah, it's what I say. You know, Saka scores and he puts the game away. So yeah, it's what I expected. You know, I predicted 2-0. We got the 2-0. So let's talk about the team. David Raya, man, it's such a, I keep saying, it's such a breath of fresh air to have a guy that you just don't think about. Like, I don't think about David Raya. Like, I wouldn't say I don't think about him as a player, like, in a negative way, but I don't really think about him during the match, man. Like, he has the ball, he goes, he kicks it, and then I'm just like, okay. And then when he's called upon, I'm just kind of like, it's all right. Raya's got it. Like before, man, we had some goalkeepers, Alex Runnison, and, oh, God, we had some goalkeepers that had some flappy hands, you know. And as much as I like Ramsdale, as much as, you know, I thought Ramsdale was solid, Ramsdale always had a mistake in him. He always, you know, had to give the ball away and cost us moment. And Raya has a couple of those. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to act like he's a Superman. But when he has those mistakes, he usually saves us. And, you know, he says, yeah, my bad. With Ramsdale, he has those mistakes and you're just kind of like, what were you thinking? And we don't think that anymore, which is great because I think every team needs a solid goalkeeper. You know, you look at the champions, Ederson, Alisson, those are guys that they could, you know, they could count on. And we finally have a guy that we can count on, and he should be Spain's number 1. As far as the back 4 that I predicted, it was kind of similar. I thought we would start Mascara, but he went with Gabriel and William Saliba. You know, our center back partnership. There's not really much I can say about those guys, man, besides, you know, it's the Rolls Royce and the G-Wagon. We're back there riding easy because when those guys are together, I don't think anyone can score. I don't care if it's Haaland. I don't care if it's Mbappe. When those guys are together and they're fit, man, I don't think there's anybody who can score on us, to be fair. At fullback, we saw Ben White, which I think he had a solid performance. I don't think he did anything super amazing. But, you know, we didn't concede, which I think is what you want out of a fullback. And on the other side, Miles Lewis-Skelly is kind of the same thing. You know, he was bombing forward. But the fullbacks, yeah, I would say, you know, like a 6 performance. They didn't they didn't do anything wrong, but they didn't really do anything exciting. So that's fine for me. I mean, that's fine. That's what I want out of the game. Our midfield, we went with Mikel Merino, which I thought. We went with Zubimendi, which I thought. But he also put Odegaard in there. I thought maybe, Wanyeri would have a little bit of an opportunity. But, I mean, Odegaard, let me not start with Odegaard. Mikel Merino, in midfield, man, he's a 6 player. Like, and by 6, I mean 6 out of 10. I just don't think that in midfield, Mikel Merino, in this team. Now, for Spain, he's something different. But in this team, I just don't think he gives us what he gives us for Spain. I like Mikel Merino either as a striker or behind the striker, like playing off. I think he gives us a little bit more there. But when he's in midfield, I kind of don't see what I see for Spain. And I don't know if it's our system, the players around, whatever it is, he's just not the same player. He's not terrible, but he's not the Mikel Merino that we see, for Spain. So, solid. Martin Zubimendi, same kind of thing, man. Zubimendi, I still worry about his toughness. I still worry about, him getting bodied. I think that he will grow into that. I'm not going to act like, he's just getting bullied, but sometimes I think that, you can run past Zubimendi. He's not the fastest. He does have a pass on him, which is great. I like that about him, but yeah, I think sometimes he does get muscled a little bit, but he's also getting used to how we play. He's getting used to, as we saw, he's getting used to the league. And I think Martin Zubimendi will kind of grow into it, and I think he will be a pivotal player for us, especially in this competition. In front of them, now I want to talk about Odegaard, man, because I am a person, and I won't hide from this, I was a person that says, for the last 18 months, Odegaard was awful. I'm not going to lie to you. He was not great. I don't know if it was injury. I don't know if it was his hair. I don't know if it's because he had a kid. I don't know what it was. Odegaard last season I think he was more of a hindrance than a help, to be honest. And, people will probably slate me for that, but I just felt that, I watched Odegaard when he was with Real Madrid and the whole Heverin thing. I watched him a little bit for Real Sociedad. And that guy that I saw with those teams was not the guy I saw last year. The guy I saw last year, I don't even know. He's basically the equivalent of Kai Havertz. Like, he shows up, he might get you a nice pass, but that's it. Like, I think that Odegaard in the last couple games looks like the guy that we saw in 22-23. Like, he made a pass. I mean, he made a pass in the last game, long ball. But there was a pass to him where he turns and he just starts facilitating. And I was like, yes, this is what I want to see. The thing that got me about Odegaard, though, is when he made that turn, it's always, like, he's always going out to the flanks. And I think that it will come. I think he needs to link up a little bit more with Gyökeres, especially in the counter. And it's not like he doesn't know how to do it. I mean, for his country, he plays with that big, gigantic robot in front of him in Erling Haaland. And, yeah, Gyökeres isn't Erling Haaland, but they, I think they're a similar type of player. They're not going to, just speed past you, but if you give them a nice through ball, they're going to put it away. And I think that we tend to, on the breaks, we go left, we go right, instead of just going central, giving it Gyökeres, let him be, one-on-one with the keeper and put the ball away. But we'll get there. But some of the passes from Odegaard last night, I was like, that's the Odegaard I want to see. That's the captain. That's the guy that if he maintains that kind of level of play, will help us win the league. That's what I want to see. I want to see us win the league. He's the captain. I want him to show me that he's the captain that can get us over the line. All right? As far as the front three that started, Gabriel Martinelli, that guy cannot stop scoring. He can't stop scoring. The one thing I always like balance. He's a great scorer when he's in scoring opportunities. He's not a good winger. I mean, let's be honest, he's not a good winger. There was a break where he's at the bottom, bottom of the screen, so he's on the right, and Gyökeres is at the top of the screen, nowhere near him. All Martinelli has to do, look up, play a through ball. It's literally Gyökeres and the keeper I'm betting all my money on Gyökeres. What does Martinelli do? He kicks the ball. He hits it a little bit too hard. He's got his head down. Defender gets it, kicks it back to the goalkeeper. I'm like, and you can see Gyökeres on the screen going, and that's the thing that frustrates me about Martinelli. And why I think that, and I think a lot of fans would think that he may be a little bit better at striker, man. Because I think as a striker, you don't have to be, the greatest hold-up player. He can be that counterattack striker. But he doesn't look up. He doesn't have enough vision for me as a winger. Saka has vision. Even Madueke has vision. But I feel like when Martinelli gets the ball, all he sees is whatever he's going to do. If he's going to take the man on, he doesn't see anything else. If he's going to go for goal, he doesn't see anything else. Like, he doesn't lift his head and scan and do any of that. Like, once he gets the ball, he knows in his mind what he's going to do, and he does it. At the detriment, as we saw, that chance could have put the game away. And we would have, probably, I would say we go 3 or 4 if we keep playing like that. But Martinelli, it's a little bit frustrating, but you can't be mad at the guy because he scores. He gets opportunity. Gyökeres hits the post. Martinelli's there to clean up, and that's what you ask for. He's got, three goals in 4 matches or something like that. So I'm not mad at Martinelli. I just wish that he would develop that eye for looking up and actually seeing everyone else. On the other wing, Leandro Trossard, and we've had this conversation on this channel. You've seen it on other channels. Leandro Trossard, for me, is not a 90-minute player. He's not a starter. He's not a 90-minute player. Leandro Trossard is the guy with fresh legs that you bring on when everyone's tired. Because it's sad to say, Trossard ain't fast, but when people have tired legs, he's faster than them. Like, that's why you bring him on as a super sub, right? But when he's going against fresh legs, like fresh fullbacks, that he's not beating anyone. And he's not good at, starting. He's not a starting caliber player. Like, he is a super sub. That's what he is. He's great at it. I know he wants to start. He can start in, like, the Carabao Cup. He can start in the FA Cup. But in these games, these big games, I just don't want to see Trossard starting. I would love him to come on in the 60th minute against tired legs, cook people, score a couple goals, get out of there. Like, I don't want to see him starting. I just don't think he's that kind of caliber player anymore. And then up front, Victor Gyökeres. Victor Gyökeres, a lot of people will talk about, he hasn't scored. And I think he should have scored at least a couple last night. But he'll get there. The one thing I will say, though, is he looked faster. He looked sharper. His hold-up play was great. He looked like he's getting fit. Like, the first couple games, people talking about he's running in Timbs. And it just looked like he was kind of a little bit slow, kind of a bit confused on what he's supposed to be doing. Last night, as I said, the first 30 minutes, sharp. We should have scored a couple goals. And I just feel like it's hard done by the fact that he hit the post. But I think it will come. I think people are, taking it out of, is he a flop? Like, bro, we're early, right? And he already got goals. He already got a couple goals. So he's not, like a certain midfielder at Liverpool who still has yet to contribute anything, but that's neither here nor there. He'll come good, bro. He'll come good. We just have to trust that he'll get up to speed, and he looked a little bit faster. And I think once he gets up to speed, he will be a problem. The subs that came on, Declan Rice came on. Declan Rice does what Declan Rice does. I still don't think we utilize him in his best position, but he's good at delivering corners, and he's good at, finding and seeking the ball. That's what he's good at. So, solid, 7-type performance. Timber came on. I wouldn't have played Timber because I think Timber is one of the best right backs that we have in the league. And I just don't want to risk him getting injured. But defensively, he does what he does. He clamps people. He ain't doing nothing. So, that's solid. Saka came on. And, I wouldn't have played Saka either. But I think that at that point, we 1-0. It was a little bit shaky. And Saka does what Saka does, man. He scores the goal. It's a shot that the keeper probably should save. But who cares? It trickled in. A trickle, still a goal. So, we'll take it. I'm excited. The other subs, I think Ezra came on. Yeah, he did. He did. I think he came on with Saka. A mid performance. He really, got on the ball a couple times, but I don't remember him doing anything spectacular, which is fine. And then Mascara came on as well. Who did he come on for? Gabriel, I think it was. Which you don't want to see, but Mascara played better. He had a couple times where you see him running and you see him. He just has an engine. He just runs and stuff, and that's what you kind of want to see from a young player. You want him to be there and be learning and getting better. I know he'll want to kind of make up for that mistake last week, but Mascara is solid. Mikel Arteta, I can't fault him. I would say the subs maybe a little bit late, but that's just me being nitpicky. As far as the team, solid team. It was good enough, to attack them. I just want to talk about our attack, like our system, our attacking system. I've called for Mikel Arteta to, and a lot of people call for it. They talk about the handbrake thing. I've just called for him to trust his defense. Trust his defense. Trust the guys. Trust those 4 guys and the guys we brought in that are solid. Trust them to protect, the midfield. Trust them to protect our goal. Trust them. And in the first half, first 30 minutes, we did. He let the attackers go forward. I mean, Saka scores from the left wing at the end, that's what you want to see. Switch. Make it unpredictable. And that's how we're going to win games. I think that now he's realizing, you know what? I've got a back line that can keep clean sheets. And even if we, concede a goal, I have a back line that won't concede too. I have a back line that will keep us in the game. I have a back line that will protect that midfield if they lose the ball. I have a midfield that would help the strikers that lose the ball. I've got a team. Here that can win football games. Let's just go attack. Let's put these games away. I think the biggest negative I have is that, we had all those shots on target and we didn't finish enough. But I think that comes with match fitness. I think we have West Ham coming up, which is a great opportunity to, still instill some. West Ham are terrible. Let's be honest. They're not good, and a lot of people are saying they're in a relegation battle. And even with Nuno, we don't know. They've got a new manager. I think it's still too soon for him to make any changes structurally. So let's go there. Let's play free. Let's put them to the sword, and then let's move on. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I want to see. I'm super excited. I'm super gassed. I've got, besides me being nitpicky, I was happy with tonight. I was happy with Arteta. And I'm starting to believe that we may be in the title race past December. Not playing. I don't want to hop on the bandwagon yet, man, because I did it in 22-23. I did it in 23-24. And ultimately, I ended up with nothing. And I think it hurts a little bit more when you start believing. I said, match week 10, match week 12, if we're 2 points off Liverpool or we're ahead of them, I think, I'll hop on the we can do this train. But until then, I'm excited. I'm taking it a game at a time. I'm seeing Mikel. It looks like he's learning lessons. It looks like he's trusting his players. And I just want to see that consistency. You keep doing that, then there's nothing for me to complain about. I'm not one of these people that would just, find things to hate Arteta for. I'm not going to do that. He had a game plan last night. It worked. And it was on the players to execute it. And it looked like they was executing it, but they just couldn't get the ball in the back of the net. But that will come. I was excited for what I saw last night, and I honestly can't wait to West Ham this weekend. So the match preview will probably be out either tomorrow. Well, it has to be out tomorrow because we play on Saturday. So it'll be out tomorrow. And, let's get ready for West Ham. Let's put them to the sword and take it another game at a time. I will see you guys on the flip side. Take it easy.